Hi there. Today we are going to study lesson variation function. It's lesson number 5.1. Okay? As we have studied before, many types of linear function. The direct variation is one special of the linear function. It's called what? Direct variation. So what does it mean of direct variation? The direct variation is a relation between two variables, x and y. A relation between two variables, x and y. So we can write the direct variation as in the form of y equals kx, where k here is not equal to 0 and k here is a constant of variation. K is a constant of variation. Okay, so for the equation y equals kx, y varies directly as x. Y varies directly as x. Y varies directly as x. Okay, and a direct variation equation is a linear function. We can consider that the direct variation equation is a linear function in the form of y equals mx plus b, where b here is b here is equals to 0. So we can cancel b from this equation. Okay, if b here is equal to 0, okay, and here what is the constant of the variation? So now the slope we can consider okay, is the direct variation, is a constant of variation. Here is the constant of variation, which is replace what? Which is replace k. Okay, so we can consider here k is a slope because yes, k is a slope. Because b is equal to 0, so the graph of direct variation will pass through the origin point. Because b is equal to 0, so the graph of this direct variation will pass through the origin, which is 0, 0. Now let's see this example. Given that y varies directly as x and y equals 14 when x equals 3.5. The question is, write and graph the direct variation function. I want to write and graph the direct variation function. Okay, as he said here, y varies directly as x, so translate it as y equals kx. Y varies directly as x. This is translated as y equals kx. Okay, replace y by 14 and x by 3.5. يلا يبقى 14 equals k times 3.5. Okay, so k here equal 14 over 3.5, which is equals 4. This is the value of k. Now let's write the variation function. So the variation function will be y equals 4x. This is the variation function. Okay, now I want to graph this function. To graph direct variation, here the y-intercept is what? Where is the y-intercept? مش y-intercept. We said that the value of b, b here equal 0. So can we get a point from this y-intercept? Yes, so the point will be 0 and 0. As we said before, the graph of the direct variation is passed through the origin point, which is 0, 0. So if we form the graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay, so let's start by the first point, which is according to the y-intercept, 0 and 0. Okay, and the slope, we said the slope is the value of k. The slope is the value of k. The slope here is 1. We can consider this one as this 4 as 4 over 1. So we are going to move 4 units up and 1 unit right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 unit right. So to grab the line will be like that. That's it. Okay, this is the first part about the direct variation.